Our next question is asked by Eric Mausner of Mausner Graham Injury Law in Florida. Eric asks, what post-sale headaches should a buyer and seller know in advance? Awesome. Great question, Eric, right? Great lawyerly question of let's spot the issues, okay? Because let's just let the audience know. These are not turnkey sales, okay? Law firm sales are not turnkey sales. It's not as if we are purchasing a Dunkin franchise, a Subway franchise, okay? These are senior attorneys that have often run their own practices for 30 plus years, joining growing law firms, and there are definite headaches. Okay, so let's go over what those headaches are, when they happen, and what's the Advil or Excedrin to that headache. Here we go. So we sign the agreement. Hoorah! Okay, everybody is happy. There is a dinner. There are drinks. There is a bunch of hoopla, and then there's the second day. I'm often calling that the second day effect. Like, what are we going to do now? And to avoid the headaches of, okay, what are we going to do now? We recommend that a listening tour begin, right? That is, as we know, we learned from our parents many years ago, we have 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? So applying that to post-sale, it's incredibly important for senior attorneys to really listen to what are the systems and processes of growing law firms? Because by and large, growing law firms have systems and processes. Often senior attorneys have systems and processes, I'll call it by default, okay? But it's important for both the seller to listen to the systems and processes of a buyer, and for the buyer to come in and really know what those by default systems and processes were. How did the senior attorney open cases, communicate with clients, communicate with referral sources? How do they manage their calendars? How do they communicate with opposing counsel? Whether they're using Word even comes up. What type of CRM system do both sides use? They learn about all this, of course, during the due diligence phase, okay? But we drafted a great agreement. Now we are in that first 30 days. We've got to listen and learn what each side is doing. Very importantly, to avoid those headaches, and as hard as this can be, is to avoid judgment, okay? Because the next part to avoid headaches is what is going to happen is that senior attorney at some point is going to say, well, this is how we've always done it, right? It's not only going to be the senior attorney, it's going to be lawyers of the senior attorney's practice. It's going to be their staff people. It's going to, well, we've always done it this way. We don't want to change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, okay? The growing law firm, its lawyers, its support staff is going to say, well, wait a second, this is how we do it here, okay? Major headache. And I think we're going to go a little R-rated for just a second, because I call this the fuckins, okay? Because what winds up happening is both sides go home after work and they say, those fucking people, they're not listening to me. Those fucking ones, they're just telling me what to do, okay? This stage between the listening tour and adapting to each other can cause incredible inefficiencies. And it's just so important. I can't preface it more, that bringing in an integration consultant, that's what we have found, a third party altogether to help both sides adapt to each other, to figure out, okay, this is how we've always done it versus this is how we do it here. This is how we compromise. Because when we compromise, then we move into the important third stage. The headache is getting less. We've taken that Advil, taken that Excedrin, okay, and we learn this is how we work together. And when we start working together, that's when the magic happens, okay? Because when we start working together, then the senior attorney who has brought to the growing law firm, why did this deal even come together to begin with? Because the growing law firm wants and needs what the senior attorney has, which is clients and referral sources. Then we can start transferring the trust of the senior attorney, those clients and referral sources of the senior attorney, to the growing law firm. And we know we've gotten to success. And this happens when we get to success, is when the senior attorney says, I should have done this earlier. But yet there are definite headaches in between. It's very important. Listen and adapt